It gives me great pleasure to be in Switzerland once again. Although just for the record, I'm very sorry to hear what happened to the world-famous Hadron Collider. Apparently a weasel caused it to malfunction. But I do believe that journalists from Blick are now working on a story that the weasel is an immigrant from Kosovo called Ahmed. All joking aside, we've come here today to talk about the very real problems of Islamophobia in Europe. It is present and it's coincided with the rise of the far right in Europe. Muslim men and women are being targeted by the media, by establishment, by governments and other groups. Never before has a people been targeted for their faith since the 1930s, and we all know how that ended with the death of 6 million Jews. There were cries back then of never again, but the truth is Islamophobia and anti-Semitism are on the rise in Europe 70 years later. Jews and Muslims are being targeted for their faith. If ever two groups of people needed to come together, it is now. And to others in Europe of faith and no faith, I would say the Muslims have never needed friends from the outside as much as they do now. In France, the government there has banned the niqab, even though all it has done is target a tiny, tiny minority of women, maybe a few hundred. And in Italy, a similar story. I wrote to the British Prime Minister, David Cameron, and I said to him, do we have an issue with the niqab in Britain? And he wrote back and said it would not be an issue in the UK government. I would like to think that this would have something to do with religious freedom, maybe a decision based on an enlightened thought. But you know what? The decision was made on business terms. You see, every summer, hundreds, if not thousands, of oil-rich families from the Gulf and the Middle East come to Europe to spend vast amounts of money on designer labels, Chanel, Gucci, Versace, Armani. When these Arab women spend, they are big spenders. If they see a handbag they like for $10,000, fine, I have one in each colour. And like that, $100,000 has been spent. Now in London, the high-end fashion market is booming. In Paris and Milan, it is diving. Why? Because women who are big spenders, who wear the niqab, will not go to these countries where they are going to be persecuted. So Switzerland wants to think twice before it tries to ban the niqab. Of course, money is a universal language. Let's face it, money talks. It can buy and sell political leaders who will drop their principles when it comes to business. The Swiss Foreign Minister, Didier Burkhalter, was in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia recently, where he met King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud and the Saudi Foreign Minister, Adel bin Ahmed Al Jubeir. Switzerland has excellent relations with Riyadh, enabling it to represent the interests of those who don't, such as Iran. As a result, I have absolutely no doubt your Mr. Burkhalter and his staff have visited Saudi many times as well as Iran. Do you imagine for 1 minute He or his female staff have shaken the hands of male or female members of staff or wives or daughters of the politicians or power brokers in Iran or Saudi? My guess is no. And yet, I'm hearing that all hell is breaking loose in Switzerland because 2 schoolboys have avoided physical contact with their female teachers by way of a handshake. As a result, the citizenship procedure for the boy's family has been put on hold in Basel City. Your Swiss Justice Minister, Simonetta Sommaruga, insists that shaking hands is part of Swiss culture. Let's hope that she doesn't meet any members of the Saudi royal families who come to Switzerland regularly and visit. Otherwise, she could cause a huge diplomatic incident if she insists on this Swiss culture of shaking hands. Let's face it, if those 2 boys were the sons of oil-rich sheikhs, we would not be having this issue today. Their family first moved to Switzerland in 2001, but only now has handshaking become an issue. Religious freedom is embraced within the law here, and there is nowhere that I can see, and I stand to be corrected, that I can't find anything in Swiss law that says handshaking is part of the Swiss constitution. Therefore, until the law is changed, surely religious freedom prevails over handshaking. So why has it happened now? It's simple. The Islamophobes, the haters, the people who despise religion have got their hands on this, and they're trying to turn it into a major issue when for more than a decade it has never been an issue. Has it occurred